Alright, everybody, welcome to week 3, September 4th through September 10th. Go ahead and click on that. Let's see, last week you turned in your rough draft. Good job. Now it's time to go back and look at everybody else's rough draft and see how they did. And hopefully give them some feedback. Because here's some peer review questions. Look at these guys. They're going to give you some things to look for in the peer's essay. So if you go into the thing and into the discussion board. When you go into that discussion board and you see somebody else's essay, read these questions because these are things that you can use to find 5 pieces of feedback. Way back up. All right. Here, this is the big assignment for this week. Writing Project 1, Reflective Narrative Rough Draft Revisited. Your job is to go in there and find somebody that posted their essay and then read their essay. Find 5 ways that they can improve that essay. 5 things. Any 5 things. It just can't be like 5 commas or 5 spelling errors. Find 5 content-based questions. Or 5 suggestions. 5 content-based suggestions. If you look under peer review questions, those will give you some suggestions on things to look for. That's what I just pulled up a second ago. So here are, let's see, I think 15 suggestions on things to look for. So if you're just like, I don't know what to look for, they did look like a good essay. No. That doesn't work. That's not going to get you points. You have to find 5 things that you can say, hey, good essay, but fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, and fix this. 5 things, right? These are suggestions. You don't have to follow these questions. If you can come up with 5 content-based suggestions on your own, good for you. Also, if you need some suggestions or just in general to figure out how I'm going to grade your essay, look at the rubric. And your other assignment for this week is some reading. So again, you need to look at the reading textbook, not the rhetoric, but the reading. I think it's actually called Reader. I don't know. Anyways, it's the one that's focused on read, not rhetoric. It's on page 81 to 84. And read through the narratives in your reading textbook. Explain one of the writing skills that is used particularly well by the author of whichever narrative you read, and explain how that skill stood out to you and how you're going to incorporate that now into your essay. So if you notice that they used a lot of illustrations in their story, and they had like a lot of description of the setting perhaps, and that stood out to you, explain that to me. Hey, the setting stood out to me, whatever. And then afterwards, come in and tell me, hey, this is how I'm going to implement this into my own essay. This kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how the revision process is going to work, but that's really what you're doing. You're logging in, you're reading someone else's essay and providing them with feedback on content-based items. That's what revision really means, is content-based. And so you're doing that. You're doing the revision process. But nonetheless, watch that video. It'll give you some ideas. Now, everyone should have, by Thursday of this week, disregard if you're in the future, if you're past this date, disregard this date because it's Thursday. It's always going to be Thursday. By Thursday, you should be able to log in and say, hey, it looks like somebody gave me some feedback. Okay, and that's, you have to provide someone with 5 pieces of feedback by Thursday of this week. Okay, now log in on Thursday, maybe Friday, you know, if someone takes forever on Thursday to give you some feedback, and log in on maybe Thursday, Friday, see what people said about your essay, and then decide if you're going to make changes, because this is really the only time you're going to get feedback, because you don't get feedback from me on your rough draft, because that's part of writing. Not a lot of people like that. Not a lot of people know that, for one, and not a lot of people like that, because the way that this works, the way that real writing works, and that's hopefully what I'm teaching you to do, hopefully real writing, it's not just, hey, this writing that I'm going to use here, never again. Real writing, you don't have a writing professor standing over your shoulder being like, hey, you did this wrong. You have to figure it out on your own, and that's kind of what this is I'm going to show you the ways to do it correctly here, like in my lessons and stuff, and then it's your job to use your peer resources. And that's why the only feedback you're going to get before the final draft is your 5 pieces of constructive criticism from your peers. And that could, you know, in real life, that could be anybody, but since we have a class full of people here, we're going to use the class. And of course, you can have anybody else read it as well. But the point being is that you're going to turn in a final draft without me telling you how to fix your rough draft, and that scares a lot of people. But I guarantee you're not going to fail the class because you wrote one paper poorly. even if you do, which I doubt you do. Most people, this is a good motivator for a lot of people, and that's why I like it. Also because it is, kind of authentic. That's how people write. They don't have writing professors standing over their shoulder. J.K. Rowling didn't have her creative writing professor. I don't even know if she had a creative writing professor, but nonetheless, she didn't have him standing over her shoulder, being like, "Hey, I think Harry Potter needs to have a bowl cut." No, um, she had to do that on her own, and she had people look at it, and she had her peers, and she had people, at a coffee shop or whatever. I don't know. She had people just helping her, and that's none of them of which were teachers. So that's my point here, is that I don't want me to help you. I want you to help each other and give me the best essay you can give me. And then when you get the final draft, I'll give you feedback on how to improve that essay. And it's going to be all writing based. I'm not just going to give you feedback that's particular to this essay. I'm going to give you feedback that's particular to every single essay you're going to write from here forward. And then from there, you'll take that information and you'll apply it to your new essays, your next essays. And it will apply. I'll make sure all my feedback does. It always does. But don't freak out. That's what people do at this point. They're reading, they're watching this, especially people that are kind of brand new to college. If you've been to college and you're kind of coming back, you're kind of like, okay, I get it. That's just how this goes. But if this is like your very first college class, you're probably freaking out right now. But relax. You're not gonna fail the class for this reason. I mean, if you don't show up anymore, like don't log in anymore, if you don't turn in your homework, then yeah, maybe you will fail your class. But you're not gonna fail the class because you get a poor grade on one essay. If you do, oh well. If you don't, fantastic. It doesn't matter at this point. Just do your best, and by the end of the class, I'll ensure that you're a better writer than you are right now. Even if this is a horrible, let's say you get a 30 on this essay, which I've never given out a 30 on the first essay, as long as someone turned it in. If they didn't turn it in, well, that's fair game. But if you turn it in and actually try it on it, I've never given a 30. So let that resonate with you for a little bit. But even if you turn it in and say you get a 60, I'm going to make sure I give you feedback to benefit you in the future that your next essay is not going to be a 60. Even it might be a 70, and then the next essay might be an 80. Next essay might be a 90. Point is, you're going to keep getting better at it. So even if this is the worst essay you've ever written, it's not going to make you fail the class. So just do your best. Ask me questions. Call, text, email, whatever. And I got your back. I got your back. Good luck.